Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing another movie review, but before I do this review I wanted to take this time to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a very safe and happy New Year. During the festive season, hopefully you've had plenty to eat and drink with family and friends, and also plenty of movies to satisfy your needs. So today I thought what better opportunity than to do a review of a Christmas-based slasher film. I don't do many slasher reviews, but this time I thought I'm definitely going to give it a shot. This is a movie released in the year 2016 from the United States, English language, directed by Todd Nunez, and this film is called All Through the House. So All Through the House is a low-budget horror film set on Christmas Eve. You've got a group of friends who are house-sitting for a very strange neighbour, and they're having a lot of fun until the fun is cut short when they realise they're being stalked by a psychopath in a very creepy Santa outfit. So as he's picking them off one by one, the group of friends have to uncover the identity of this killer if they are to make it to Christmas Day. So whether or not they can, something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on All Through the House. I didn't really have any expectations and any real need to see this film for the longest time. This has been out for about 2 years in stores here in Canberra, but I just saw the trailer. I thought this looks really low budget, it's going to be really cheap, and it's just not going to interest me. So I was a little bit discriminative towards it, and I'm sure a lot of other people are out there like that as well. But when it first came out, it was very expensive. So it's finally come down to a very cheap price. So I thought, it's Christmas, I'm going to settle down. I've seen some movies recently that have really hit me with a powerful sledgehammer, and I don't want that experience coming into Christmas Eve. And so I thought I'll pick this up, give it a shot. I'm not really risking anything. If it's really bad, then I just won't bother, but hopefully it was going to prove somewhat useful to me. And at the end of the day, I will say this movie does get better as it goes along, but it does have a lot of glaring problems, down to the fact that it has a very limited budget, which is something I'll go into a little bit later. But I will say that it's not a complete disaster based on the fact that it is very well done as far as the violence is concerned, and it has a very creepy killer. This Santa outfit that this killer uses is very unique and is actually quite creepy, and I thought there was some very effective horror set pieces. So coming from a very low budget horror film, I thought Todd Nunez demonstrates a lot of capability in this movie, and it was actually very interesting to see what he could do if he actually had a bigger budget. And so the overall violence, the blood, this is where a lot of the effort's gone into in this movie, and it does show. I thought as far as gore is concerned, there's a lot of castration, there's a lot of shears in the eyes, and so it's a very nasty sort of film, but nasty in a way where it's a lot of fun. It's a very entertaining horror film. It's not trying to be anything but. So it is very self-aware, and there were some very creepy scenes where you see the main character, and in the distance you see the killer go from one room to the other. So it's very subtly done. It's not dictating when this happens through a soundtrack. It's actually allowing you to actually see it for yourself and actually be creeped out for yourself. And so this director actually, as I said, demonstrates a lot of capabilities within the horror genre. And so you've got women that are very good looking, that are naked, and I thought that was typical of a slasher film. And so it does tick a lot of the right boxes. You've got very good kills, you've got a lot of blood and gore, you've got nudity as far as good looking women is concerned, and a very effective killer, and also a very creepy story surrounding this killer. And so being all those boxes ticked, it does warrant at least one viewing, especially if you are a seasoned sort of slasher fan. For me, I'm not so much a slasher fan. Lately I've been getting into them a little bit more, but for me, as I said, I expected to hate this film, but I actually liked it a lot more as the movie went on. And so when it starts to get into its bloodthirsty moments, I thought, alright, well, this is actually fairly decent for what it is. And so the overall characters in this movie, as far as slashers are concerned, you don't need characters you like. It's all about wanting to see them die in horrible ways, and they do die in horrible ways, which is something that I can really applaud. And so, as I said, as far as self-awareness is concerned, all Through the House is a fun sort of slasher film, but unfortunately a lot of the good work that the movie does is brought back from the limited budget. The acting is really, really bad. Once again, you don't need great acting, but you know that the low budget is very evident in this film, whether it's some of the camera shots and the editing. Some of the violence is actually clouded over by bad editing, and so it's more seeing the aftermath as opposed to actually see it happen at that particular time. And so it does bring it down. Some very low budget horror films are actually very intelligently made where you don't realise it's low budget, but this movie, the low budget is actually evident, and it does cloud some of the enjoyment to some extent. But fortunately, as I said, it's a lot better than I thought it would be. I thought it could be a complete disaster, but I just thought the creepy killer, good kills, good looking women, women, being naked. It's everything that you want from a slasher film. So for that reason, I'm going to up this film from 1.5 stars to 2, because it does have very capable moments, but as I said, the low budget does bring it down. But Todd Nunez demonstrates a lot of capabilities, so hopefully in the future he actually has a little bit more money to play with. So that's it for my review. As I said, very Merry Christmas to you all. Hopefully you can stay with my channel coming into 2019, because I've got a lot of things planned for it to give it a bit of variation, so it's going to go on to bigger and better things, especially if you're there to support me. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, until next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.